Welcome back to another video. So it's Wednesday afternoon, it's like 3:30. I just got to my parents' house. I don't really know what this video is going to be. I haven't even filmed my comp recap yet. That is coming, well, it will be out by the time this goes up, but it's currently Wednesday, so I'll probably film that tomorrow and then upload it on Friday. No idea when this is going to go up. I might put a video up on Monday of today and Saturday's session, just so I can get back to my normal kind of routine of uploading on a Monday and a Friday of my training. Don't know what this series is going to be called yet. Don't know what my next comp is going to be yet, but I want to document my training as always. I was back on program Monday, so literally I competed Sunday. You can tell when someone's unhappy with their comp when they are literally back in the gym the next day. So Monday I went to the gym and did my full body accessory day, added in a little bit more legs, and I'm going to really make sure I push that day like mad. Like I already pushed my accessories, but we're kind of turning everything up a notch now. Gonna leave no stone unturned between now and the British in November. I mean, I never do anyway, but it's even more of like a hunger to do well after a bad comp. I was backtracking my macros yesterday, so Tuesday, so I literally had one day off of tracking and I was backtracking. I mean, I'm tracking a little bit more loosely, but I'm still tracking pretty much like 95% accuracy. Like I'm not maybe weighing things quite as much or like to the T, but yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna just document my training like normal today. Like I said earlier, no idea what this video is going to even be. Nearly dropped my camera. But yeah, just arrived at my parents, so going to go in, hang out with them for a bit before I train.
So, this is what happened. Brianna's such a goddess, could get anyone she likes. But when she's looking at me like that, I know she's only mine. My friends think she's so dumb and stupid, but I won't tell anyone. Her hands are in my hair, whispering in my ear. I won't tell anyone, not a soul. But when we are alone, she's touching me. To me, the way she's looking at me, she's so damn perfect. It's so damn worth it. The secret we keep. Yeah, I'm a sucker for it. Well, I'm a sucker for it. She's so dumb and stupid, but I won't tell anyone. Her hands are in my hair, whisper in my ear. I won't tell anyone, not a soul. But when we are alone, she's touching me. Well, I'm a sucker for it, give it to me.
Okay, so first SBD day back is done. It feels really good to be back training, to be back to like really building and working. I really enjoyed that session. I'm very hot, it's really warm here, so definitely sweaty. Yeah, I'm feeling really happy. So I haven't filmed my comp recap yet, so I don't know if this is something I've already spoken about because we know I like to go off on a tangent. But from comp, main things I took away were the fact that with squats, I want flat shoes. I don't want Jordans anymore. I want a barefoot feel shoe so that I feel as grounded as possible so I can really get the most out of my legs, which is something I really struggle with in that last block of training into comp. It might not make a difference come the next comp, it might just be a nerves thing, but obviously you want to give my all to everything. The other option I have also toyed with is going back to heels with a very narrow stance just to kind of mitigate my knee cave. But I think my knees just can't handle it. And for now, I am staying on my legs really well. So I don't think I need the heels. So I think that will just make me kind of trace forwards a bit too much. So the Vivos today, first time squatting in them. I did my leg day in them on Monday, or like my accessory day on Monday, which is a full body day, but with lots of legs. I wore those Monday for that. And they felt really solid. And wearing them today felt really good for squats. Like I felt really grounded. I felt like I maintained position a bit better. And I felt like my legs were doing most of the work. So very happy with that, and just happy with how squats moved. My back offs weren't that much lighter than my top set today, just because I'm taking bigger jumps week to week on my top sets, smaller jumps on my back off sets, and I know 130 for sets of 6s aren't anything that are going to really induce any fatigue worth worrying about. So yeah, that was kind of the decision making behind that. Bench is the one that I am most excited about after today. So I've always done soft touch bench. I did briefly toy with more of a sinking method. I can't remember how long, it was during my off season, but it was quite a while ago and I just couldn't get it. But I've done a lot more research into it this time because none of my lifters really use a sinking method either. So it's not something I've really had to learn at this point. But basically I've been paying a lot of attention to the top benches. My bench and my upper body strength is ridiculous. Like, and that probably sounds quite arrogant, but I have a very strong upper body. Like my upper body is as strong as some of my male clients who are benching considerably more than me. Like on accessory movements, I'm doing similar amounts to them. Especially with pressing movements as well. Like I have a very strong upper body and I don't feel like my bench is a true reflection of that. Like yes, I obviously have a good bench, but it's not where I can sense that there is so much left there. And I've basically just been looking at what top lifters do and I've been thinking about where my bench kind of struggles the most. And while I don't often fail off the chest, I do feel like, especially recently, I've almost wasted a lot of energy with a soft touch. Like I've felt like something needs to change and I just feel like soft touch isn't really working for me, especially with how much I utilise leg drive and the way that I use leg drive. If a comp carpet is even remotely slippery, I find it so difficult to maintain that tension and to hold the weight on my chest. And I just know something needs to change. So I have been, I'm a powerlifter, like I'm always studying people's lifts. Like I analyse every good lifter, I will analyse what they're doing and how they're moving and their movement pattern, their leverages. Like that's something I kind of obsess over. And one thing I've noticed recently is, well, I say recently, it's been a good few months now, sinking benching is becoming more and more popular. And a big reason for that, which is why I didn't really think about it for a long time, is because all of the big archers that were affected by the new bench press, like elbow depth rule, they went to sinking so they could keep their arch. But as someone that doesn't have a massive arch or had to really worry about the elbow depth rule, I didn't even consider that as an option for me. But more and more of these lifters, like Agata Shitko is a big one. I remember her specifically saying on a podcast that she switched to sinking just to make her elbow depth more convincing. She does have quite a big arch, but obviously she's always had an insane bench. But she actually said that it feels so much more powerful off the chest. And I was thinking to myself at that time when I heard her say it, I was like, maybe this is something I should try again. And this was months ago. But my bench has been going really well. So I've just been sticking with it. And especially during the off season, like the main thing during the off season is like forcing adaptation, and more of a controlled rep will force more muscular adaptation. So I kind of just left it in the back of my mind, like bench was going well, didn't really think much of it. But recently, it's been really this last block into comp, I just knew something needed to change. So I told myself that I was going to trial a sinking bench. So just on this one day a week, on a day where I'm at home, benching at home in my own like little space, so I can just toy with it, play with it, and kind of get some skill practice in. So I'm now, I don't know if I've mentioned this, probably didn't mention this in my recap video, because again, haven't filmed it yet, so I don't know what I've mentioned. I'm now doing comp bench 3 days a week. So, well, 2 days technically if you don't include the sinking day. So I'm now doing comp bench on a Monday. Wednesday, as you've seen today, I am practicing sinking bench. Thursday is just dumbbells, and then Saturday is comp bench. So I'm adding in an extra comp bench day. I've taken out my closer grip Larsen day. My lower back is healthy enough to handle 3 feet down days now, and I wanted a higher volume day. So on a Monday, I'm doing ascending sets of 7 at the moment, and I'm going to just see how I get on with that. And I'm going to keep that as a soft touch day, whether I go into a sinking style full term or not, at least for now. That's kind of the plan, just to keep that strength in that lower portion of the movement as well. But yeah, so basically, I wanted to try sinking bench, and I've been really excited. Like, I've just got a really good feeling about it. And Meg Scanlon, one of the American lifters, she has an insane bench. I think she benched 150 in training leading into Worlds. She competed on Tuesday and benched 141, something along that, 143. It was a new world record in the 63s, and she sinks, but that's because she used to have or she still does, have a massive arch, so she needed to find a way around the elbow depth rule. And I remember her making a post where she said, one of the keys to a good sinking bench press is to keep the tension in your legs, but relax the upper body. So that was something I tried to really like focus on today, because for me, the biggest risk with sinking, which I think is for a lot of people, is my butt coming off the bench. My butt comes off the bench with soft touch, so I wasn't sure how it would play out with sinking, because if anything, it's more risky. But actually just focusing on that cue massively helped. And actually, my butt didn't fully come up, I don't think. I've looked back on my phone, haven't looked back on my camera, but I did try and get a really good angle on my phone. I don't think my butt came up fully on any of the reps. Now, this bench is ever so slightly higher than like an Eleiko bench, so it will be interesting to see on an actual Eleiko bench, but I have a very good feeling. Like, the weights tonight were incredibly light. It's very difficult to tell if sinking is going to be good when it gets heavier, but even on the reps where things didn't necessarily feel 100%, looking at them back, they were still very comfortable. And I did change my feet position, or like my foot position, on pretty much every set today, just to play around with what kind of felt better. And actually my normal foot position, slightly further out, I think did feel better. So I am very excited. Like, I didn't want to stop benching. Like, I'm so excited to see how this goes as things get a little bit heavier. I spent more time warming up as well, just to practice with lighter loads. But yeah, basically I've got a very good feeling about soft touch. If it does go well, or even if I decide not to stick with it, and if I can get the hang of it, I will probably make a video on my tips for a soft touch bench. But I think the main thing really was just keeping the tension in my legs the whole time and just relaxing my upper body. Like, you still want to control that bar into your chest. Like, you don't want to let the bar just drop. You need to control it into you, but it just takes that pressure off at the bottom, and it felt so good. And I made sure to keep slightly longer pauses in than what I normally with my rep work, which is something that if I do this sinking style, I'm going to make sure I get comfortable with long pauses, because you do typically get a longer press command with a sinking style of bench, just because they want to be certain that it's completely still and stopped sinking before they say press. Because if it sinks after they say press, that's when you'll get called for heaving. I think it's called heaving, which basically is when the bar dips and then you heave it up, which you'll probably see in like a lot of heavyweight men. It's more common. So yeah, basically, I'm feeling incredibly excited about bench. I'm only doing sinking on 1 day a week. So we're going to trial at this block, see how we go. If I really like it at the end of this block, I might add in a second day. I'm also not going to post it on Instagram or anywhere. Like, I want to just keep it kind of private that I'm trying it. Basically, because I have a very good feeling about it, but also I could be wrong. But I mean, I don't care who knows, like, I'm posting it on YouTube. But yeah, it's just something that I'm not going to really post about too much until I've kind of figured it out. But I'm very, very excited, and I think this could be a very good move for me. But again, it's session 1, it's incredibly light, like 95 for 3 singles is nothing to me, so we'll just see. But bench was by far the most disappointing lift at comp. So considering how well it's been going in training over my off season, for it to turn, like, just not show up at all on the day, like, it felt so bad. I need to change something, and I think this is a very good move, so I'm very excited. And then deadlifts were fine. My hands really hurt doing rep work. I did do rep work leading into comp, but yeah, just set to 5, did not feel comfortable. I'm gonna let deadlifts continue to take a back seat, because actually my deadlift has progressed just from pushing my squat so much. So it makes no sense to me to try and really force my deadlift. Like, I still want to continue pushing squat, want to push bench. Deadlift can just stay on the back burner. If I don't need to push it, what's the point? It's going up anyway. So I'm going to try and basically save any kind of high RP deadlifts until the end of like my training cycle. So this is a 4-block cycle. I've essentially lined it up to Commonwealth. Don't know if I'm even going to get an invite. I should in theory, because I won nationals, but we'll see. Also don't know if I want to do Commonwealth, but I've basically lined things up so that if I do decide to, I can, and we'll just go from there. I would need to extend one of my blocks by 1 week, because I'm now doing 4-week blocks rather than 5, so I would need to do a 5-week block in there somewhere, but that's fine. I'll just wait and see and make a decision. But yeah, deadlifts are fine. They're not going to be overly exciting for the next few blocks, but it's all right. And then the other thing that I also do on a Wednesday now is my B stance RDLs, just with a dumbbell. I normally do them on a Monday and my accessory day, but my accessory day is quite long and it's just something that I can just do at home. So it's just easier. So I'm going to do it on a Wednesday instead, especially because I'm training earlier on a Wednesday now. So yeah, that was a lot of ramble, but basically I'm feeling very excited. I almost think having a bad comp is a blessing in disguise, because it just, like, I'm always motivated to do better. Like, even if I'd have totaled 500 at this comp, 510 at this comp, like, I still would be hungry for a lot more, because I need to get a lot more in order to basically catch up to the top girls and overtake them. But it's almost made me more determined. Like, I know I'm stronger than what I put on the platform last week. So it just means I'm going to have, like, the next time I compete, my total is going to be insane. So yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts for this one. I will probably merge this video with Saturday's session. So I will see you for Saturday's session.
We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart, 'cause I know we won't make it out. I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out. We've heard it all before. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
Okay, so it is Saturday, squats are done, I am a state. Also still out of breath, so apologies for that. But yeah, squats are done. They were fine. I mentioned this for Wednesday's session as well, so there wasn't that much difference in load between my top set and my back offs, which isn't exactly common. It's literally just because I'm taking 7.5 kilo jumps on my top set every week and just 2.5 to 5 kilo jumps on my back offs, depending on how they kind of move and feel. So it makes sense for me to start with them a little bit closer together, because as the block goes on, they're going to spread apart. And I do also respond well to heavier volume on my back offs. So that is kind of the logic behind it. So 147 for a very comfortable set of 4, and then 140 for 4 very comfortable sets of 4, to be fair. Definitely think squatting in my Vivos feels a lot better than the Jordans did. Like, being in a completely flat shoe, I feel a lot more grounded. I'm definitely staying on my legs a bit better. Yeah, they feel a lot better, to be fair. Only thing I'm struggling with, which is literally just because I didn't take the time to recover after comp, I jumped straight back into training, so my back's still fatigued, is my lower back is very pumped right now. Like, I've literally got burst blood vessels on the bottom of my back, which has happened to me in the past. It's literally just, it'll be fine. Doesn't help that my diet and stuff have been bad this week in terms of recovery. Like, my elbows and stuff are still quite achy. When I say diet, it's been bad. So basically what I've been doing is I got back to tracking my macros pretty much straight away, but I basically just told myself I can be lenient with it. So I had leftover food from comp that needed eating up, so I've been having like extra snacks and stuff over the week. Yesterday I went out for a meal for dinner, so I didn't track yesterday. I ate my normal breakfast and lunch and then just went out for dinner. But I would have gone over because it was quite a large dinner and it was quite, like, I don't say greasy, like, it was very tasty, but it wasn't like a low calorie dinner, let's put it that way. So yeah, recovery and stuff in terms of food hasn't been amazing. And this week as well, like, I've had a lot of work to get done this week, so I feel like even today, I literally was working non-stop. So my plan today was to get all my work done this morning, food shop at like 1ish, get back, get here to watch Worlds, because 84s and the 120s today, watch Worlds while I trained. That didn't happen. I was working through until 2:45. Worlds started at 3, so I just stayed at mine and watched it, did the food shop on the way to my parents, and then started training when I got here. So it's literally, it is nearly 9 o'clock. That's how far behind I am. Like, I wanted to be home by now, because I'm also reffing at the men's English Nationals tomorrow. So I am leaving my house at about 6:45, if not slightly earlier. So yeah, not ideal. Definitely want to be home by now. Probably won't get home until like 10:30, nearly 11. I don't think I'd fall asleep any earlier than that anyway, to be fair, but I do also need to eat something when I get in. But yeah, my calories have definitely been a bit all over the place this week. Like, some days I've been under. I've basically been trying to, for the most part, hit my macros and then just go over with any extra snacks and stuff. So I know that as a base, I'm hitting the necessary macros and I'm just overeating, if anything. Like, I'm completely fine with that for this week. And I've not obviously got to make weight for a long time now. My plan for the off, I guess I call it the off season. It's not an off season. I don't even know when I'm next competing, but my plan between now and basically November for nationals, whether I compete in between or not, is to maintain around 84 to 85. I don't want to have to do any kind of cutting for comp. This week I've been sitting low 86s, but that's with going over my macros. My movement hasn't been amazing this week. I've had a couple of days where I've had a decent number of steps, but for the most part, obviously I've been training as normal, but my actual overall activity and movement outside of training hasn't been overly high. I've kind of given myself a week to like chill out with that a little bit more. And again, because I've had so much work to do this week, I've kind of just let myself be a little bit lazier with that side of it. But yeah, so I've told myself from Monday, macros are back to 100%, steps are back to, I'm going to tell myself I'm going to do 10,000 as an average every single day. So some days I'll go over, some days I'll go under, but as long as over the week I'm hitting 10,000 as an average amount, that should be fine. My macros, my calories, I'm going to be on roughly 2,500 calories. So my calories are slightly higher than they were before comp, but because I'm going to be doing the extra steps and the extra movement, that should be absolutely fine to get me to about 85-ish. I can always drop them if I need to. Yeah, that's kind of the plan for food. I'm kind of just rambling because I can't bench until my back's kind of calmed down a little bit and it's very uncomfortable right now. But it's fine. Update on sinking bench. So I feel really good about sinking bench. Like, I'm not even looking forward to benching tonight. Obviously it's quite light because it's week 1, but I want to just sink and get that right. But I also know that I can't because, well, one, I don't know that it's definitely going to be the best choice for me. I need to do this entire block and kind of figure that out and make that choice. But also it's definitely something that my body's going to have to adjust to, because I woke up the next morning, I expected some tenderness from where the bar had been sinking in. I literally have lines on my chest where the bar was, like just bruises across my rib cage of where the bar was hitting. So if anyone on here that's watching this does sink on the bench press, is this something that somehow goes away? Is this something I'll get used to? Like, I'm sure it's something I will get used to. Like, it's fine. And I do think on some of the reps I dumped it more than controlled it down, so that would have definitely not helped. Like, if I try and control it a little bit more, which is the plan, obviously it's just skill practice, then it shouldn't bruise as much. But yeah, that wasn't ideal. But it does also mean that I definitely can't put it in 2 days a week yet, because I wouldn't cope with it. And I do also want to keep in normal soft touch bench anyway, even if it's just as like an accessory complementary kind of movement, because I think having that strength off the chest will always be a benefit. So that was a lot of ramble to basically say I have bruised ribs currently, which is not the most comfortable thing. Like, it's fine, but it's not the most comfortable, especially as a woman that wears bras, because literally the bruises are where the bra sits, like the band of the bra sits. So that's not overly fun, but I do think it's going to be the right move. Like, I feel very excited about it. I don't know if it's just the excitement that I'm doing something a little bit different. Like, my technique and stuff hasn't really changed for quite a long time. Like, I've made little tweaks to my deadlift during my off season. Squats, I've changed shoes. I mean, my squat form has changed a lot from like this time last year, to be fair. But yeah, like, I don't know, I think I'm just excited to do something a little bit different, learn a new skill. Because nothing I've made in terms of changes to my form on the other lifts has been that different, where if I do start sinking on bench, it's going to be a completely different kind of skill. Yeah, and it's fun to learn something new. There's a lot of ramble. I'm going to bench, but basically squats are fine. At some point, probably not this video, I will kind of talk through changes I've made to my block, but there's probably not really much to say, to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to get myself ready to bench.
It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly.
Okay, so I've just finished training. Bench was absolutely fine, as it should be. It's so annoying to me that I only benched 107.5 at comp last weekend, because obviously she only worked up to 102.5, but that's 5 kilos less than I finished on at comp last weekend. On week 1 of the block, when my elbows are sore, my body feels like shit, like I am beat up, like my accessory days this week have caused so much more DOMs because I'm doing different movements, and I haven't pushed my accessories in a good couple of weeks because of comp. Like, my body does not feel fresh today, and 102.5 felt like an empty bar, because it should. Like, I can bench far more than that, but it's just frustrating that at comp I only ended at 107.5, but we know why. It's not a problem. It is what it is, but it's just so like stupid to me. But it's fine. My week 2 single is going to be 107.5, so let's make that move better than comp last weekend. Yeah, no, I've got really nothing to say on bench. Like, it was fine, it was easy, it was comfortable. It's how week 1 should be. Back offs felt incredibly comfortable. I was a little bit lazy with some of them, I won't lie. Maybe not the softest of touch, but they were still soft touch enough. Pauses weren't all amazing, but I'm trying to remember to pause more of my back off work. But yeah, no, nothing to really say. It's how week 1 should be. That's literally all I've got to say. I am a sweaty mess. I feel like getting a fringe, is like a full fringe, is not a good idea for someone that has fairly curly hair naturally and doesn't own a straightener, but that's fine. Yeah, I'm happy. Week 1 is done. It's been a very good week 1. Did my RDLs at the end as well. So with the RDLs, I used to just do 3 sets of like 8 to 10ish, and I managed to get up to like 100 to 105 for sets of 8, but I just felt like I was stuck there for a good while now. So I've dropped my rep range to 6 to 8 because my body is very good in the 6 to 8 range. Anything above 8 reps, my body just doesn't like. I'm nowhere near as, like, there's a big strength drop off after like 8 reps with my body on all accessory movements. Like, it's just a known thing for me. So yeah, I dropped my rep range to 6 to 8. I didn't go too heavy today because I didn't have my straps. So I had to do mixed grip. Mixed grip on RDLs just feels so wrong. I do not like doing it like that. But I just did literally 70 for 8, 80 for 6, 90 for 6. It was incredibly sub-max, incredibly comfortable, just to ease back in. I don't know if I mentioned this even in my comp prep videos, but my right hamstring had been really tight for a good few weeks before comp, to the point where I think I was about a week out, and on my B stance RDLs that I do on my accessory day, I couldn't actually do them. Like, I did 1 set on each leg, but it was almost like too painful to do them on my right leg, because it almost felt like there was maybe like a minor tear or something in there. Like, it was obviously fine, and it feels fine now. It just gets flared up, or it just flares up very easily. I've always had hamstrings that pull ridiculously easily. Like, it does not take much for my hamstrings to feel sore, and not even sore, like pulled. So I'm just being a little bit cautious with introducing them back, or like introducing to push them back in. And I need to make sure I warm up properly on them every week, but I'll start pushing them from next week, so that's fine. But they were comfortable enough, and I'm confident I'll be able to get to like 110, 115 for the end of the block on them for sets of 6, so that'll be good. Definitely a massive weakness for me, and if I can get those stronger, I think my deadlift will just go up with them. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I feel like it's going to be a really long video because it's 2 days in one, or 2 training sessions into one video. I will get back to just uploading twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. Wednesday's session will be uploaded on a Friday, Saturday's session will be uploaded on a Monday. Gonna try and start filming some of my accessory days, but it just depends how busy the gym is. But our home gym should be getting set up somewhat soon. We are waiting for quotes for the garage roof because that needs to be replaced first. I have sourced some kit from someone that is selling all of their, they've got a lockup with some gym kit in, so they are selling it, and they've said I can have it. So I've got loads of gym stuff already brought, pretty much everything I need. Only thing I need to do is order another barbell because I'm keeping all of the stuff at my parents' gym here, because they use it, and also I will come back and train here regularly as well. Like, I'm still planning on training here probably for my 2 main sessions, but it just depends. But because they've got a cage, so I'm going to have a combo rack in the garage at our house. So for my heaviest weeks, if I'm not going to Powering Through or another gym, I will come and do them here where I've got the actual safeties on a cage. But yeah, I want to get another Tiger bar because they are my favourite barbell, and I will be wanting that at ours as well. And I'll leave this one here for my parents / me. So yeah, home gym should be set up somewhat soon-ish, like in the next couple of months, hopefully. It just depends when we can get the roof done. It is literally, I can't believe I've just bought a house and I'm now kitting out my home gym already. This was something we were going to put off for quite a long time, but I feel like I know I probably could do with squatting a 3rd day, or just a very light squat day, rather than all the leg machines I'm using. I think a squat day might do me better. Not entirely decided on that yet, but definitely comp bench an extra day. Like, I'm doing comp bench on a Monday now on my accessory day, but the gyms in the bench aren't great. They're not a great height, they're slippery, it's just not ideal. And it would be much nicer to have a combo rack to do that on. And also training on combo rack, it's the exact same height as the Alico bench, so I can check that my butt isn't coming up. And to be honest, I think I might even start benching 4 days a week. Not yet, it's going to be a long time before I add another day, but that is something that definitely in the pipeline. If I feel like bench is starting to stall, like a 4th light day, I don't know yet. Rambling, doesn't really matter at this point. But yeah, I just want to say, I'm hoping to film more of my accessory stuff, but it is just difficult because the gym I train at is very busy. But once the home gym is set up, I'll be able to film more anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking and end the video here. If you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Please let me know in the comments if you have made it this far. Please leave a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm actually getting very close to 1,000 subscribers, which is a little bit crazy. Like, I know that's not tons compared to a lot of people, but considering I rarely even post my YouTube on my Instagram and stuff, like, it's kind of just grown naturally as I've been posting, which is very cool. So yeah, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, help me get to 1,000, and I will see you on Friday for the next video.
Alright, if we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright, scattered in mud, it's alright, you're giving